everybody, welcome to the film show with Juliet Kamanga. I'm Juliet Kamanga, and today I want to talk about something that I really enjoy, a genre of films that really inspire me. I hope one day I get to make one. Well, I mean, I kind of have worked on a few, but I get to make a full-length one. And today we're going to be talking about a documentary called 13th. Now, to those people who've seen 13th, yo, that's all I gotta say. But literally 13th is about the 13th Amendment in America. And as much as I've known about the 13th Amendment before, I haven't known to what extent it affects people in America. And I also didn't understand the whole gravity of the situation, in the sense that because I don't live in America, I don't really understand American law as much. Just because people say specific things, I don't fully understand what they mean by what they say, if you know what I mean. So it is pretty interesting to watch this documentary, because I watched it at a time where we've been talking about a lot of racial issues in class for psychology, because I do social critical psychology, and it's been really interesting to hear about all the ways oppressors work and the way that they oppress the minorities. And I hate that word minorities because it makes it look like we're lesser than, but it's an easier way to define the problem, if you understand what I'm saying. So let me just get into it, right? So yes, 13th is about the 13th Amendment and how it pretty much is the same law as slavery, but in a different sense. And a lot of you might be like, what the hell are you saying? But first of all, you need to just watch this documentary. It's not even if you like this, watch it. I feel like every person needs to watch this documentary. Whether you live in America, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Hispanic, whether you're colored, you need to watch this documentary and really understand what it feels like to live in this kind of oppressed state such as America, and understand that these kind of laws exist not only in America but all over the world. And also the fact that sometimes there are not even laws saying these things, but it's like a unspoken truth that happens within the world. Black people are oppressed throughout the world. And let me rather say here, when I say black, I mean, okay, in the actual documentary, when they talk about black people, they do mean black, as in, the skin tone. But when I say black people are oppressed all over the world, I am generally talking about all races who are non-white. It was so hard to watch because I really didn't know what to expect. When my friend gave me the documentary, she pretty much explained that it's about the 13th Amendment and how it's the same law as slavery. I'm like, wait, what do you mean by this? Yeah, no, just watch it, you'll see. She did not tell me that I was going to be crying, I was going to be so distraught, I was going to be angry, I was going to be sad again, I was going to be so confused about life and questioning, why does this happen to us? It was so beautifully done because it builds up from year to year, and I love that it uses hip-hop music to transition between specific years and eras, which is so interesting. And it starts with, I think it starts with JFK's era. Yeah, it starts with JFK's era, I think, and goes on from there. And it hit me so much because you also see how many prisoners were in the country at the time, and how the ratio of how many people in a specific race go to prison, and it ended up being 1 in 17 white men go to prison compared to 1 in 3 black men. And that is a crazy disjunct, because you know what I mean, 1 in 17 is quite a lot still. 1 in 3, you know what I mean, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, that is a lot of that's a lot of people in jail, black men in jail, because of minor crimes. It's so interesting because I've always looked whenever you see these specific posts on social media about this guy just sold weed and he's in jail for life, but this person killed someone and is in jail for 2 days or some ridiculous thing. And it's not even I'm exaggerating, this happens. It's pretty interesting to see that, because I used to why does that happen, knowing that the 13th Amendment says 3 strikes and you're out. But if you look at the reason for people's crimes compared to other people's crimes, it doesn't make sense. Maybe someone, and God forbid, this is sad, but maybe someone killed someone in self-defense because they really had no other choice. Their life is going to end, or whoever's life is going to end, because if they didn't stop this person, and this person is bad, they'll go to jail for life, even though it's self-defense, because there was no witness. But someone murders a whole school, they got to go to a mental institution because, they're white. Someone sold weed and got caught 3 times and goes to jail for the rest of their life. But someone steals lots of money from minorities and goes to jail for 5 years and probably will get out before that. And I'm not saying selling weed is a good thing, but if you look at the black man who sold weed, he's probably doing it to support his family. I'm not saying every crime is to support your family, to support yourself, to get out of the bad life that we live. But you have to remember that, and I really feel, and I'm going to say this, majority of people of color who commit crimes don't do it because they're just malicious. They do it because they're trying to get out of this bad situation that we are stuck in. We're thrown into poverty, we're thrown into lower class without even asking for it, merely because our skin is black. And it's because everyone's like, but if your parents saved up money and took you to university, but that doesn't work. I remember once reading a fact saying that back in 1970 in America, you could work a minimum wage job, pay for your 4 years of university. Now, in any country, you cannot do that. Like even in South Africa, you get 4,000 a month. That will not pay for university, plus your transportation, plus your books, plus your food. It doesn't work like that, and you have to work full time to get that money. Otherwise, it's half of that. And that, and I'm not even like exaggerating. So people do other things to get by. Even if I, not like I steal, but imagine I steal things. Stealing sucks, but let's pretend. I steal things because I'm trying to get my sister through university so that she can be in a better life than what we have to suffer through. So she doesn't live in a place where people get shot every 5 seconds and all that stuff. This is not to say crime is good, but it's to understand that the reason people go into crime is different from other people, And I'm not saying that there's no white struggle, but majority of the time there isn't. A lot of white people are born into middle class or higher class. A lot of people have more opportunities. Yes, there are white homeless people, but the majority of the time is that white homeless people would be homeless because they spent their money carelessly and could not afford their lifestyle anymore, compared to a black person who was just born into poverty and it got so expensive to live that they could not afford it anymore. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? As much as we may face the same issues as a white person, the reason for our issues are very different. And as I said, it's not to make it seem like white people's issues are less than, but it's to understand to what extent we have to live life compared to what they have to go through. There's always this argument of, no, but they're poor white people, they don't do crime. You don't know that they don't do crime. You also don't know that someone didn't catch them doing a crime and the police was like, next time don't do it again, compared to a black person who is driving and gets pulled over. I mean, my brother was arrested for not having an ID because they thought he was from another country. But who wants to walk around with their ID all over the place? This is not apartheid times. We don't have to be walking around in dumpasses just so that someone can recognize that we're from a space. You know what I mean? But this is our land, but we're being thrown into jail and being questioned about whether we can walk on it freely. Why must I walk around with that green book all day for you to feel good? And then I get thrown in jail because I said, why do you need to see it? The minute I question why you need to see my identity, you want to tell me that, no, I have authority, I can do whatever I want. That doesn't make sense. So this happens a lot in black culture, and that's why 13th is so important, because it relates not only to America, but to every place where there is racism, to every place where there's inferiority versus superiority. It affects everyone's lives. And to all my brothers and sisters out in America, geez, I'm so sorry you have to go through this. It's the most painful thing I've ever watched in my life. I've watched pretty painful stuff, hey, movies and stuff, but to see all those videos that showed in that documentary, it was so hard. And there were clips near the end, I don't know if it was closer to the end, about all those men who were killed and when the Black Lives Matter movement started. And it was so painful because those were live clips. These are real situations where people were killed for being black. And I don't know, it can't hit you until you see it, and especially because you may be watching this and you may be black, and even you may be a black man, and on top of that you may be a black man in America, and you watch this thing and you're like, that could be me, because I'm walking and someone says I'm threatening you. When I'm in front of you, I'm not even bothering you, I get shot, and then the person who shot me gets away with it, and the family's supposed to just live with that. It's fine. I'm supposed to go to jail just because I'm black and I got caught 3 times doing something useless? Someone brought up a great point where they treat drug abuse as if it's a crime compared to a mental illness, which I also agree with completely. Again, white people could be on crack cocaine. They go to a rehab facility and they rehabilitate their lives, and then they're back in society, they're clean, life is great, you know. Well, specific white people, I mean, you also have your own biases within your own race. But a black person could be found with the same problem and it's like, go to jail, you're disgusting, you know, and never looked at again, never watched, make sure they're fine, they do drugs in jail again because it's snuck in there, and they die and nobody cares. Not understanding that this person had to go through so much hardship because being black alone is pain. Now on top of that, every other little thing, the economy hits you, all the other racism. I think is a very, very touching documentary. If you're very sensitive, I don't think you should watch it, and I'm being honest because it will hit you. Like, I mean, if you're the type of person who really breaks down and feels and gets depressed, I don't think you should watch it, or you shouldn't watch it if you're not feeling really good at the time. I feel like go into it knowing that it's a very tough documentary to watch. I'm not even exaggerating. And if you watch 13th and you feel nothing, well, I really don't know what's wrong with you. No, like, I'm not even being sarcastic. I don't know what's wrong with you. If you feel no sympathy, if you feel no hatred, anger, disappointment in the world, after you've watched 13th, you haven't watched it properly, or you have no feeling within your soul. Because 13th is so painful and it was so beautifully done. It brings out that emotion. I feel like everyone has to watch it. I recommend it to every person. If you can handle it, watch it. If you can't handle it, ask someone to watch it and literally tell you what's up. You know, as long as you get the message that 13th is trying to send, that ish needs to stop. America needs to reevaluate their lives, and not even just about the 13th Amendment, but about every other little aspect, because 13th Amendment comes from different things, and it always starts with racism and all the other smaller things that come after racism and the bigger things that come after racism. So as a world, we need to watch documentaries like this. We need to make documentaries like this. We need to make people aware, because I would never have known about how bad it was completely known, you know, properly, unless I watched that. And it's very important that things like these are made, and I'm so happy that it was made. I think it was even made by a woman. I forgot her name, I apologize. Beautifully directed, needs to be told. I want to watch the rest of her stuff. I hope it's as good as it's touching. And yeah, so I'm done with my conversation at 13. But what I wanted to say after watching this is that never ever again must a white person say get over it. Ever again. Never. After you watch this documentary and then you still feel that you have the audacity to say get over it. Not even a white person. Any person who feels like, let's move on. No. There's no such thing. Because moving on means sweeping things under the carpet, and I do not believe in that at all. And I know it's a hard fight, but you gotta keep fighting. You gotta keep making everyone aware of these problems. Because anyone who says, oh no, but that was in the past, it's a lie. Slavery still exists. So be aware of it, or be caught in it. Thank you, everybody. I hope you subscribe. I hope you like. Please share this video. And please make sure you watch 13th. Even if you don't even like this video, even if you don't watch the rest of my stuff, watch this documentary. I promote it fully. It's fantastic. Thank you so much.